So this is our fifth poster presentation this morning. I'd like to introduce Fernando and Trixie from the Canadian
Mental
Mental
Health.
Health Association. And Fernando is from
BC Association of Aboriginal Friendship Centers.
BC Association of Aboriginal Friendship Centers. They will introduce their work and tell us a little bit about their professional lives and how this work relates to their professional lives. So Trixie, I'll start with you.
Thank you. Like you said, I'm from Canadian Mental Health Association, the BC division in downtown Vancouver. I'm the project manager for Connecting the Dots, and this is a partnership project between Canadian Mental Health Association and the BC Association of Aboriginal Friendship Center. So part of our project, we're trying to, it's an innovative community-based project seeking to promote mental health for urban Aboriginal youth and families in 3 urban Aboriginal communities. So Kelowna, Port Alberni, and Quesnel. And we try to do that by identifying some of the risks and protective factors influencing mental health in these communities. So we do that through using a evidence-based communities that care model that's been used in many other communities to promote positive health outcome. So in our particular project, we really want to adapt this model so it could be culturally relevant in the urban Aboriginal communities that we work in. And we try to do that through our research component, I would say, in this project is really seeing their participatory action research. So using that framework of really including community members in the research process. So they become co-researchers and not just researchers going in and getting data and leaving. So we really want them to be involved in the process, to be really engaged and to have ownership of the process. And so part of our research things, we have done focus groups, we have done interviews, and very excitingly this past couple months we've been doing photo voice with urban Aboriginal youth in Kelowna, and that's really youth using pictures and narratives to really tell their stories about what it means to be in this community, that sense of belonging and identity in the community. And the process, I think they become the voice of the community and be able to show the community what are some of the risk and protective factors influencing them. So we really want to promote, again, protective factors so we can build the resiliency for these youth so they can undertake any challenges, and then really to minimize the risk factors that would negatively influence their mental health.
Right. Fernando, can you speak to how the work that you're doing here and its relevance to your organization?
Sure, yeah. So like Trixie said, there is a provincial partnership that we built with Canadian Mental Health, which is a non-Aboriginal organization, with our Aboriginal organization. I think that type of bridge building really boils down to the community level. We are trying to do some cultural adaptations with the model that Trixie was explaining. Really what we're trying to do with that is get more involved with the traditional and Aboriginal worldviews and knowledge. So instead of reporting, we'll do a storytelling template where they tell a story to tell what's been going on within the community. Or we'll do photo voice instead of a survey. Right. So we're trying to get more involved with that. Specifically, I can show off one of our little tent cards where the stage was picked in the Gitxsan territory, right nestled beside the Nisga'a and the Tsimshian in northern BC. Right. And this is kind of portraying our way of bridging that non-Aboriginal and Aboriginal gap provincially and also with our research. So I think we're very happy to be here.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead, Trixie.
Yeah, no, I was going to say this is great in terms of what we're really trying to do. We want to incorporate some Indigenous methodologies into our work too. So really making our research relevant to Aboriginal culture and traditions and ways of knowing. And again, that's done through our research with Photo Voice and then again with our Aboriginal partners. So it's really trying to bridge the gap between working in silos, mental health service providers and Aboriginal service providers, and really building that sustained long-term partnership to be better able to serve the communities.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, tell me why the 3 smaller communities?
The 3 smaller communities?
Yeah.
Well, because I think the BC Association of Aboriginal Friendship Centers really focuses on urban Aboriginal peoples.
Right.
Where on-reserve individuals have a lot of attention. We find that urban Aboriginal people are sometimes not neglected, but sometimes not focused on.
Yeah.
So that's specifically why we picked Kelowna, Port Alberni, Quesnel. There was also some capacity within those 3 sites.
Oh, okay.
However, we were trying to focus on kind of a lesser focused population.
Right, not Vancouver and Victoria, but others.
Exactly, yes. I just want to highlight this too. We also had a big celebration where we brought all of our partners together, and we had a graphic designer from our organization come in and instead of minutes, developed an art piece, and that art piece really signified and represented what we were talking about within that. So that's also another process of how we are trying to incorporate that type of indigenous methodologies with our research and our projects.
I'm curious about photo voice. It's easy to do, I assume, for most people,
Well,
or is it not?
it's a process. It's really the youth are engaged in the process. So I think, I don't know if we're saying easy, but it's really more for them building relationship. And for our project, they're all doing it in a talking circle in a way. So really taking pictures and sharing narratives with each other. So that process itself might not always be the easiest because some of the pictures might be difficult to talk about. But
So
it's
the
really
research
rewarding.
itself is therapeutic.
I mean,
Healing, I would
yeah,
say.
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, that's the idea, right? Health is healing and wellness, and what does that mean for individuals? Maybe different from someone else. So I think it really could be. We should have a youth here, but
Yeah.
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 Well, Fernando and Trixie, thank you very much for doing this. It's a wonderful project, and it was
Thank you for
delightful to have you
inviting
here.
us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.